All right, Martin, 50. They bring a lot to the table, always down on all fours, sitting around the house all day long doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Oh.
I have a job.
All right,
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah,
with this,
I work 2 jobs. I'm a full-time student. I'm
Oh,
kinda
wow.
busy.
I work
Impressive.
full-time. I'm a single mom, and I go to school full-time, so
Oh.
fuck you.
Oh, wow. Sophia, do you want to read this?
Traditionally, men pay for first dates because they both knew each other beforehand, and there are social repercussions to accepting a date when the woman is not actually interested in the man and looking forward to the second before the first. That's not the case anymore.
Yo, Sam, thank you for the $50 super chat, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so, I mean, Sophia, you said that the guy should pay for the first date.
Yes.
That's all I got to
Why are
say.
you shaking? I mean, we already went over this.
Yeah, we already talked.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
The woman, do you one day hope to get married?
No.
Okay.
Oh, and that's it.
Really?
I feel like that was obvious. It's California.
No, I mean, I think you can be, I think, well, marriage is just a big L for men. There's no reason as a guy to get married.
Well, I think that companionship is a huge thing for human beings.
Well, I didn't say I could have a life partner.
Yeah.
I can be monogamous with one girl.
Yeah.
However, marriage, the way that the laws are.
Yeah, the ring on the
You
finger.
don't wanna
I
be
understand
legally
that.
binded to someone
Okay,
Well,
for like the rest of I get that. Like I get
Well, I could be with someone for the rest of my life. In fact, I think that's quite desirable of a situation to be in. However, the way marriage, as far as the laws go, it's terrible for men. But you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Okay, so this person you could see yourself committing to
Yeah.
is high up on your list of things you know, attributes of this person and things you'd like to feel about this person. Do you want to respect them? Like,
You think you can't respect someone if you don't want to get married to them? Or
no,
what do you- I'm
no,
just trying to understand.
not at all.
will
Maybe I should have framed that the
respect
other way, but
my partner, I certainly hope so.
okay. I feel like you said a few things like, I don't care if she's funny, I don't care if she has personality, which is totally
I
fine,
didn't.
you know?
Well, I don't.
I think you said bland.
The funny thing,
you said
yes.
you like a boring girl.
I think you said bland, but I just, I am wondering, like, is respect you feel for your partner? I think this might play into the smart thing. Like, I feel that I am most respected when someone understands my intelligence. So is the person you see yourself with long term a smart intellectual that you respect?
She need not necessarily be smart or intellectual. I don't have anything against. I've dated women who are.
I mean,
hold on, let me finish. I've dated women who I would say are smarter than me. In fact, I'd honestly say that the previous girl I dated she's a PhD studying like brain, something with the brain, like probably at least on book wise, smarter than me, more intelligent than me.
Okay.
Perhaps in other facets, I'm more intelligent than her, but I'm open to dating a girl who's more intelligent than me. But it's not like I don't care. Like, it's not really part of the equation.
I feel like that's so funny because you run a podcast. Like, you must like good conversation. Don't you want to be with someone that can hold a good conversation and add something to it?
I mean, like, if I can have a conversation with her, but I don't need a girl who's like got insane charisma and can tell good stories and has a witty comeback to like everything.
Okay.
It's a very low priority.
Okay.
I don't care. I care about other personality traits. Chiefly, does she bring me peace? That's the most important thing personality-wise a girl can bring me, because I have a very stressful job. The last thing I want to do is have a girlfriend that's always wanting to argue.
Yeah.
We're always in some sort of conflict. The biggest thing a girl can bring me personality-wise is peace and calm.
Yeah, okay.
I have a brother. I love him very much, and he tells me about what he wants in like a girlfriend or like somebody to like be with for a very long time is just like the compassion and empathy, and like just to have somebody like to be there with him, for him, and to like support him. And just, he said, just don't make our lives hard.
Yeah, I mean, and also I think one of the reasons why women tend to want intelligent men is if you're intelligent, then you're more capable of providing provisioning. If you're intelligent, like intelligent people tend to be higher earners. Whereas like we as men, we don't really care about a woman's ambition or her success. Do you have a response? Do you have a thought on that?
No comment, actually.
Rin? Oh, she's waking up.
I just the stuff we were talking about before, like you guys had it down. That's why I didn't really say anything. But like, what were we talking about? We were talking about oh yeah. So a lot of men, like they want their women to help them feel more masculine. Like my dad, he likes dating girls that like he can take care of because he feels more like, you know, like they like feeling like men.
That makes
they
sense.
like feeling masculine.
And I think that plays into the fact that, you know, men and women have different roles in life. And I think that in a perfect relationship, a man brings out a woman's femininity and a woman brings out a man's masculinity.
Okay.
So things like opening a woman's door should play into that.
Okay,
Paying for
but
the first date.
but okay, so you kind of made a grimace when I said most men don't really care about a woman's ambition or her success. What, Sophia, you made a face too. What?
I don't even think that's true.
Okay, this is why I make a grimace,
okay.
because one day hope to be a great wife, and I want to believe that is not true. I think that, you know, when you're born, you have somewhat of a personality, and my whole life I've been ambitious and I want big things for myself, and I look at that as a pro. So whether a man, you know, does or doesn't value that, you know, I wouldn't want to be with a man who just wants a trophy wife. You know, I want someone who can respect what I'm doing and care about me. You know, I'm not just a physical object like I do. And I totally agree. The best thing in a relationship is when you bring each other peace. So the grimace comes from the fact that, like, I don't believe that, you know, it's a turnoff for guys that I have.
I'm not saying it's a turnoff, but men don't really prioritize it.
Okay.
It's not, it can be a turnoff in the sense that if you want to be successful in business or in the corporate world, you need to cultivate a certain cutthroatness that you wouldn't otherwise need to cultivate. And we spend most of our time at work. When you start becoming cutthroat in the corporate world, in business, that's going to seep into your broader personality.
Yeah, I totally understand. I grew up with corporate parents, and my dad's an attorney. So I haven't had to be in the work world to get those things.
You mentioned attorneys. Attorneys are typically have to be very disagreeable.
Yes.
So for example, a female attorney, she's going to have to cultivate her ability to be disagreeable because there's negotiations. There's you need to know you like very much by the rules and by the book. So it's not necessarily like you can still be very feminine and also be successful, but a lot of women who get into the corporate world become very successful.
They lose that femininity.
They do lose a little bit of it, but the main thing that I would say to this is not so much that it's you were like, oh, well, I would hope that a guy cares about my success and ambition. All of you at this table said that you want the guy to pay for the first date. Yep. I assume you also want that guy to continue providing throughout the relationship. Men don't care about your money and your ambition and your success, chiefly because you do not share your resources with men the same way that men share their resources with women. All of you said you want the guy to pay for the first date. So we don't receive a benefit. Men don't receive a tangible benefit by your success.
I don't think that that's true at all.
All the girls here said they'd want the guy to pay for the first date.
But let's say we're married. If a man and a woman are married and a woman has income, I would hope that she helps pay some bills. And I think that that's okay. Unless the man is so, stable that he can take care of both of them, or the woman is choosing to be a mother and she wants to devote her time there. Okay,
but there are definitely women that even beyond the first date still want the guy to continue paying for dates.
There are some women. I can
prove it. Did you want to continue? Or?
Yeah. I think that a lot of reasonable women would say, into the relationship, if you have shown your interest in me enough, by asking me out and treating me well and putting your card down the first couple of dates, I said, I'm happy to start, paying, splitting, tipping, this, that, the other thing.
After the first couple dates?
If I know that I like you, I would love to be in a relationship where I do this for you and you do this for me.
Okay, so
I think what a lot of men have a problem with, like, the boss babe thing, and why the boss babe thing isn't appealing, is because we kind of have this expectation that he should be okay with being second to a career, where, like, your boss that you work for will replace you tomorrow, and your man will not. I think that's what men have a very big problem with when it comes to, well, you know, I want this high status profession. He's like, okay, well, how much am I going to matter? Because there's also been, and this would be anecdotal, right? But there's been conversations where men have asked their women to quit their jobs because it's dysfunctional with the family. There's something going wrong. And the woman says, like, no, absolutely, I will not quit my job. So you're literally choosing, you know, your boss who would replace you over him. And that's not okay. And I don't think your job should come first as a man either. But I think oftentimes, and because family should be first, but like if you're a man and you have to deal with being in this high status profession to create that umbrella of financial security, like, yeah, it's okay if your family's on the back burner, because you're not truly on the back burner for your career. You're going through that so that you can benefit them. Like, what man wants to be second to a career? Like, these companies don't care about us. Like,
I don't think
I
he's
feel
be
like
second
this
to
is
a
a really circumstantial kind of thing, and
it's not that circumstantial.
like I'm not second in my job. Like I can't. No one's gonna. I mean, of course, everyone's somewhat replaceable, but it's like I feel like you're just kind of spewing like these words, but they don't really have any meaning.
So
Well, I can give you the data.
I have a question.
I can give it
Is
to
your
you.
answer to all of this that women shouldn't work, or that, you know, I should quit my job because, I mean, my dad's not paying my rent? Like, someone's got to do that.
attorney, hello?
Yeah,
No.
he
not
raised me
paying
right.
them?
He,
Yeah.
you know, he also
This
said,
isn't- like, first of all, you said that this is like circumstantial, right? And there's also like broad swaths of data where, like, these are things that are going to happen to women. They're already happening. Like, when we're talking about making women equal to men in the marketplace, in the job marketplace, it sounds good. There are unintended consequences. One unintended consequence is, like, 50% of women are projected to be single in 2030. No, 45% of women from ages 25 to 44, right? So
because of their job.
No, because of being past the Industrial Revolution, and because of economic mobility, right? That this is the unintended consequence of the boss babe culture. That's one aspect. And then we have this other aspect: 50.1% of women in the UK are childless by age 30. That's another statistic. So, like, we've made it to this point where, like, we've made ourselves completely equal to men. And it's like, that sounds really good in theory, but if you're going to be like a mom and have children, you're going to have to make compromises and structure your life differently. And a lot of women, like, they're not getting this. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying, like, you need to quit your job and you need to stay home, right? But we need to, like, plan and act accordingly. And putting a career ahead of your man is not a good way to get there, because he's probably going to need to cover you. Like, a lot of this gender equality stuff sounds really cool, and, like, all this independence. A lot of women who say this have not reproduced. I have very much needed to depend on my husband in my pregnancy, first trimester, last trimester. Any woman who's had a child knows this, but we want to pretend like it doesn't exist. And I think that the reason why we have these, like, made up constructs, because, you know, like, everything's a social construct, is because we just are not seeing people get married and build families.
No one is pretending like it doesn't exist, and no one said that they would put their job over their husband ever.
Right.
No one said that.
Okay, like,
I feel like that's another thing that you're kind of just making up. Like, I bet every
I think you have
person
super
here
valid
can
points.
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I feel like every person here would say, of course I would choose my family and my husband over my job any day. And I think that your idea of this boss babe thing is like what you're making up in your head, but you're not considered a boss babe. You don't have a job. You don't, right? You don't.
I mean, I do work, but that's, like, it's relative.
You know what
to
I mean?
supplemental
Like, but I
income.
mean, like, you don't have like a traditional job. Like, so I feel like you kind of can't really speak on it because you're not in.
I don't need to
I understand that you have a baby and you have a husband and you're in those shoes, but I don't think that, like,
Okay.
you're trying to speak on the boss babe thing, but you don't really fully get it.
Like, I'm giving you objective truths that I can prove. I also have them on my phone. I will give them to you immediately after the show. Like, these are the
I
consequences.
believe you. That's okay.
These are the consequences of us putting careers ahead of men. Like, that's the
Who's
thing.
doing
so,
that?
well, this is why.
Hold on. Like, women are putting careers ahead of men to the point that they would rather have that job than be with a man.
Then
That's
you don't have
crazy.
to do that.
Huh?
Then you don't have to do that.
Like, can you explain?
If you don't want to do that, then don't do that.
If you
I
don't-
don't
if you don't
think
wa-
that
if
the
you don't wanna do
majority.
what?
If you don't want to put your job over your
Okay.
husband, then don't do that. I mean, you don't even have a corporate job. You know what I mean? And I think that you're saying, well, women do that. Where? Who? When?
Like, this is what I'm saying. My subjective experience does not influence the numbers that I'm giving you. This is like to the point, this is the breakdown of the nuclear family. And this was all because we're talking about like careers and men taking a second seat to careers, right? This is the projection. Like there are big banks and companies that are investing in like wine and cat food and stuff because they know that there's going to be a bunch of us that are single, right? So like what you guys are saying, your career is important. Just don't forget that your man and your family should come before it.
Okay,
corporate America
thank you.
will get rid of you tomorrow.
Thank you so much for reinstating that, because I believe that we all agree with you, and I think that that's why we're becoming disengaged, is because we all agree with you, and there's just so much we can hear about it. We all agree with you.
Okay, let's move it along a little bit. I'll just add a couple things here. So